In Ukraine, it's day 4 since Russia began its invasion of the country, prompting global condemnation and a wave of new sanctions on Moscow. Our Shin Ye-eun is on the line with the latest. Ye-eun, Russian forces have been pushing toward the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. What can you tell us at this point?
Well, Devin, explosions have lit up the skies in Ukraine for 4 days straight, but it seems that Russian troops have not yet made it to the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian civilians have armed themselves with guns, knives, and even hammers, trying to stop the Russian troops from getting into the city. Ukraine's presidential office said some 3,500 Russian personnel have been killed and 200 have been captured. Some military experts say Russia could be planning to attack key government buildings overnight. A senior U.S. defense official on Saturday estimated that more than 50% of the Russian troops that had been arrayed along the Ukrainian border have entered the country. As of Friday, the estimate had been about one-third. On Saturday, the Kremlin accused Ukraine of refusing to negotiate. Russia said it was going to send a delegation for talks in Belarus, but Ukraine says it objected to the conditions for talks. According to Ukraine's health minister, nearly 200 Ukrainian troops and civilians have been killed so far. At least 150,000 people have reportedly fled Ukraine to other neighboring countries like Poland and Hungary. But UN officials say this number could rise to as high as 4 million.
Well, Russia has been roundly condemned for the invasion, of course, and leaders have announced what they say will be severe consequences for Moscow, with the sanctions focused on cutting Russia out of the global financial system. Tell us about that.
Sure, international sanctions are mounting against Russia, along with the U.S. and the U.K. A growing number of European countries, including France, Italy, and Germany, have agreed to ban Russia using SWIFT, the communication systems that connect thousands of financial institutions around the world. Now, that would make it much harder for Russian companies to do business and engage in international trade. These countries are also going to block Russia from withdrawing some $600 billion worth of reserves in their central banks. Germany is also sending Ukrainian troops some 1,000 anti-tank weapons and 500 Stinger missiles. And the U.S. is asking for active support from its NATO allies. That includes Australia, Japan, and even South Korea. As for South Korea, Foreign Minister Shin Ye-eun reportedly spoke on the phone Saturday morning Seoul time with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and strongly condemned the Russian invasion, saying it's a violation of the UN Charter. South Korea has said it's going to take part in sanctioning Russia with other parts of the world. Now, that's all I have for you at this hour. Back to you, Devin.
All right, our Shin Ye-eun reporting there. We'll check back in later in the day. Thank you for that.